Okay.
Yes. Very well. She did nothing to your eyes that was not already there. She has forced this upon you, but such crude methods are the markings of the Sith. Close your eyes. Feel this ship around you. Listen to my words. Hear the sound of the handmaidens training in the cargo hold, her hands cutting the air. The welding of the droid as it goes about its work. Now, stretch out. Hear the rumble of hyperspace, the hum of the hyperdrive.
I love this. First, we had a computer option. Hey, T3 has a bad motivator. Now we have a repair. Hey, I can hear a catch on it. It's not fully fixed.
Ignore distractions and focus on my voice. The breathing of the blinded one as she meditates in the dark. Now, listen deeper, past her breathing, and listen.
As my feet walk from the ashes of KoTOR, I shall not fear, for in fear lies death, and
you are strong indeed. What you heard was surface thoughts only, but it is something that masters have trained for years and never learned. That is not the real question you should ask. Is such listening enough to perceive the world around you? It is not, because to listen to the thoughts of another is much like attempting to see the universe only with your eyes. It is equally limiting. Now leave me be. I must rest.
my life for yours. I am prepared for whatever you wish to teach me. I understand now. I shall practice what you have taught me.
Horatius, it's funny you say that. By my definitions, by my interpretation of the Force, I've always said, excuse me, that Grey Jedi is someone who balances usage of the light and the dark side equally, and therefore does not actually fall into the recursive feedback loop of the light side or the dark side. In other words, someone who is balanced in their mentality and their Force usage.
Yes. Have you come with questions?
I'm not going to say anything else, because I've already talked about Grey Jedis a lot. And of course there's the Silver Jedi, and there's...
When I spoke of sight before, there is a similar handicap that tends to occur among those strong in the Force. They neglect their skills. Some believe they no longer need them. The greatest wielders of the Force are those that maintain some grounding to the more physical realities of the universe. Some wielders of the Force have mastered piloting, others the ability to fix and repair and build, from simple moisture vaporators to more complex machines such as droids and vehicles. One's ability to understand the human body and its ailments, for example, can make your powers within the Force more complete, more powerful, when you attempt to repair the cellular damage of another. And others have mastered the more subtle work of politics, persuasion. Do not doubt that a galaxy may be conquered with words, a republic overthrown, and an empire made. When such skills are honed, one's abilities with the Force become that much stronger. My warning to you is this: do not rely on your companions to compensate for your weaknesses in skill. There will be times they will not be there to help you when needed. What skill would you say is your greatest strength?
Apparently my highest skill is Persuasion, which, if you guys remember, is at 111.
And what skill would you say is your greatest weakness?
And apparently everything else is equally down, because they're all at like 90 something. So, yeah.
Then my task before you is this. Take your greatest weakness, devote effort to it, strengthen it, and I will show you how it shall strengthen your power in the Force. As you learn and train and test yourself against the galaxy, all your skills have a chance to improve and grow as well. When you devote some of that training to your weakest skill, you will know.
Yeah, I know, I only have 90 skill points in it. I barely know what I'm doing at all. Now, I can't seem to be able to advance Handmaiden at all.
I do not think you are ready for...
Which is weird, because I should have maxed influence with her right now. But whatever. Let's talk to Bao-Dur.
General, need something? I moved around for a couple years. Working as a starship mechanic got me from place to place. I wasn't ready to settle down after the war.
Oh, gotcha, Django.
Then you understand my restlessness. Though the war had ended, I couldn't find peace in anything. As long as I kept moving, I didn't have to think about what happened. Know what I mean? I'm sure you do. I decided I'd do something constructive. I wanted to make up for the things I'd done in the war. I wanted to design planetary shields, but there weren't many systems with the credits to spare. There was more that needed to be rebuilt and protected. I found out that Telos was going to be the flagship project for the Republic, and it sounded like something good. I saw Telos before the Sith raised it. He deserved a better fate. But Zerka ruined everything. I thought I could force Zerka.
There's that dark side.
But I guess I can't fix everything myself.
Notice that's one of the first times he has real emotion in his tone. Lets himself go for just a second.
It's good to be working with you again, General. Something else I can help you with? Let me see what you have. That's everything. Now all you need is a little quiet time with the workbench.
Let's see. We need a lightsaber for a lot of people. And we're only doing the one dual saber. That's on Vicious Mar, right? So we'll have a one-handed. We now have a lightsaber. Yay! Woo! We have a lightsaber, guys. I don't know what color it is, but we got it. Alright, let's go ahead and level. God, our skills are pathetic. Oh, we'll take Max Flurry while we're here. Aha! We can finally get some really good stuff. Excellent. Yep. Yeah, Bao-Dur has some issues. Yes, he is a Zabrak.
Yes? I do not think you are ready.
What? Okay, fine. Yeah. Of course, now you tell me not to level up. Damn it, man. Oh well.
The time to hide your presence is coming to a close, and you will need to increase your training. You are ready. Your training must increase, and there are higher mysteries you must learn. But only you must know the path you will take. I cannot choose it for you. Is it battle that stirs you? To meet an enemy blade upon blade? Such is the way of the greatest of Jedi warriors, the weapon masters. Or perhaps it is investigating the mysteries of the galaxy, seeking out injustice and harm, and bringing it into the light. Such is the way of the Jedi watchmen in the time of Ulic Qel-Droma and Exar Kun. Or perhaps your way lies upon the ancient mysteries, and to teach others the ways of the Force, as I have. the way of the Jedi Masters.
We'll start as a Jedi Master. It sounds appropriate, right?
It is not some great test you require to be what you strive to be. It is only your decision to find that path that matters. From here on, you guide your destiny. But in order to take the next steps, you must face your past and put it to rest.
And we just automatically get a level out of that. You've gotten lots of power. But first, we need to get that unarmed thing. Except, I have it right there. So why am I not? Oh, maybe that was the unlock. Well, whatever. We now have Inspire Followers. I thought we were already doing that. Oh, right, I need to get the battle meditation for the cutscene on Onderon, so we'll do that. Doo-doo. If you guys had to pick for yourselves what you would do for picking between Sentinel, Guardian, or Consular, or the prestige classes of that, and it's like in a real-life situation, it's actually you choosing it, which would you pick? And, as ever, why?
Yes? I do not...
Yeah, fine. Fine! See if I care. Much. Okay, we need to go to... Wait, no. We need to stay right here. I have to admit I'm torn on that, because I tend to be pretty much equally drawn between the ideas of being a melee or a mage.
My life for yours. If you wish to know, perhaps it is possible to show another what my people see. What I see. First, you must close your eyes. The surface of the ship, its sights, will only be a distraction. Now, in your mind, reach out. Listen for my breathing. Do not focus on the sound, but the life behind it. Imagine its energy, its texture, in tandem with the breathing. And then in your mind, step back from the image and see what remains. There. It is not as difficult as I thought. You learn quickly. It will take effort to maintain such sight, but you now have that power. And with it, you can use it to see life around you in a different way, as I used to see it. I will answer.
Tor is a long slog of a download and an install. It takes forever, even on my connection, which I guess isn't saying much. Okay, now we do this. Okay, I need to bring with me... What do I need to bring with me? Wow, HK is really light side. That's really funny. That's just wow. Okay, whatever. Okay, she's already a Jedi. We need to make him a Jedi still. Handmaiden? I would like you to put on some clothes, please. Thank you.
I didn't want to talk about the war, but can I ask you something? Why did you decide to fight? I felt the same way. I remembered when word of the Mandalorian attacks arrived on Iridonia. My people had colonies across the Outer Rim. Many of them were among the first systems to fall. I did not join because I wanted to protect, though. I hated them. I wanted to destroy them. To give them the mercy they gave the people they conquered. I remember the thrill I felt when we fought them in battle. Victories were rare, but we celebrated every Mandalorian's death. Do you know how it felt? It's always on my mind now. That loss of control blinded me, turned me into a weapon. I just needed to get that off my chest. Was there something you wanted me for? You know, I'm glad I found you again, General. We were together at Malachor. I don't know if anyone else could understand. Getting philosophical on me? I'm here because you found me on Telos and I decided to come along for the ride. Not that I had much choice after we got going.
Yep.
Tired of me already? I was frustrated. Watching the Ithorians getting pushed around by Zerka, I thought I could make a difference, but it was taken away from me. Guess if one planet was good enough for me, why not the galaxy?
We're about to, British.
You just have to know what the circuits look like. Only if you don't have any more questions, General. Was there something you wanted me for? Yes, General?
Yes?
I do wish we had the warp back options like we did in KoTOR 1. And this is when you point out, oh, all you have to do is do this thing you've never heard about, Arch, because you're a moron. And then I'm going to feel really, really stupid for not knowing that.
It might be helpful if I made some changes to my remote's maintenance laser to do spot repairs.
That would be a welcome improvement. My combat effectiveness could be better sustained, providing an advantageous arrangement. And my miniature counterpart would finally be able to pull his weight in a fight.
Then I'll work on it when we get back to the Hawk. There. You should be able to do some quick fixes. You won't be able to perform serious repairs, but you should be able to patch up any broken droids. You know, I think it's time I gave your cutting laser a little boost. It works fine for repairs, but we could use your help in a firefight. About it. We'll make sure they keep you out of their scopes. Think of it this way. You can keep KoTOR in line with it.
Imagine if we actually had a huge party size for some sections of the game. Wouldn't that be cool?
I don't understand why you won't let me take a look.
Statement. I've had quite enough tampering at the hands of unskilled meatbags such as yourself. I'm not eager to submit to this treatment now or in the future.
Unskilled meatbag? I'll show you unskilled.
Appeasement. I did not mean to imply that you were an unskilled meatbag, as incapable of performing rudimentary repairs as holding a hydrospanner. It is only that I am quite particular with my repairs. Perhaps when I am more
See you around in
confident
Requiem.
in your
Good fortune.
abilities, I will allow you to examine my internal components.
If you've got some time, I'd like to see what I can upgrade for you.
Yes, I do have a few moments to spare for your work. I would like to know what he is doing doing here, though?
He helps me out with repairs. That isn't a problem, is it?
I suppose not. Perhaps in working on my circuitry, your assistant will learn something about how a fully functional droid is constructed.
Just ignore him and let's get to work.
I would appreciate that. Our group has little in the way of time to spare, and I would not want to delay you from your other duties.
Right. Let's get you open. See what you can do. I have to say, you are put together quite well. There wasn't much to do.
As I told you, my design is streamlined and efficient, though I am pleased that you were able to make some improvements, and this was not just a waste of my valuable time.
There were a few things from my remote that I was able to integrate into your construction.
I see. Well, thank you. I'll let you get back to your work.
It's okay, guys. The floating orb is now more dexterous. I guess we'll talk to Bao-Dur really quick.
Having you here has an effect on me, General. I never noticed it years ago. I think my mind was too occupied then.
Well, I wasn't a black hole in the force back then.
I feel calm, more in control. The anger is still there, but I can feel it drifting away. The last years of my life have been defined by it. The Mandalorians, Zerka, and Revan. And above all else, myself, for Malachor. Never, General. It had to be done. My hands destroyed the Mandalorians. I cannot be forgiven for that. Even if I did it out of hatred of the Mandalorians? That might be the truth, but I don't want to see it that way. I can't just ignore the blood on my hands. Even if there isn't, I still feel like I need to do something to make up for it.
Learn the ways of the Force, young Bao-Dur.
Under your guidance, I feel like I could overcome my anger.
So what color lightsaber should we give Bao-Dur, guys? Because we've got 3 more people to give lightsabers. Mira, Bao-Dur, and the Handmaiden. We've already got brown, or excuse me, amber, orange for Atten. Silver for me, of course. And cyan for Visas Mar.
Yes, General? Don't. Thank you, General. Yes, General? If you think they'll... It'll take practice. Yes, General? Let's get to work.
Teach,
That was a
teach,
good
teach, 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 teach,
Yes,
teach,
General?
teach, 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 teach,
Let's
teach,
get-
teach, 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 teach,
That was a-
teach.
Yes. Let's get...
Just gonna impart all my training onto him here. We are a Jedi Master now,
Yes,
after all.
General? If you think... It'll take practice. Yes, General? If you think... Yes, General?
Okay. I do kind of wish there was a teach everything thing, but you know, whatever. Okay, I do too, Jago, in all honesty. That's a great thing. Okay. Let's think about this. What other colors do we have? Where's the list? I have it right here. Devastating pulse mine. Oh, here we go. Okay. Lightsabers, lightsabers, lightsabers. We have blue. Okay, I'm just going to make the list here. Pull open. Move this over here so we can see what we're typing. Blue, red, green, yellow, purple, bronze. That's it. These are our options for bow door specifically. So, bamf. Take your pick, guys. Well, you do that. We're going to go see a hut about some dancing. Mira. And... There we go. Loot what, foo? I don't see any loot around here. Yeah. Okay, oh, where's the dancer, dude? By the way, we're not doing overlap in colors. That's why I'm limiting options. Because my sabers, which I don't have equipped apparently, I really don't. My lightsabers are the silver ones. Whoops. Save.
Tawancha morichiwa, mufalawa ni bobo wishyo, una sita, dorchoni sobawata.
What about the handmaiden?
Tawancha morichiwa, mufalawa ni bobo wishyo, una sita, dorchoni sobawata.
We don't have one,
I have
Permeus.
not trained in the dance, but the Ichani fighting arts are very dance-like in their movements. I do not think it would be a stretch for me to do this.
Kawana bota yuta tanga kinamatura. Tayaita, taposanan hansata.
If that is your
Dahupa, bosakurata, go jujuto yoki. Hiata yamba wajiaki, yukito tune.
Wait 1 second. I refuse to participate in this. I'm not dancing for some slobbering, overgrown slug.
I like Visas Mars' response, by the way, when we brought her. Her response was literally one word. No.
You need me to do this? Can't we find another way?
You're the beautiful one.
Oh, all right. I guess I'll do it.
Muliurawa, iberendia tia wishnu nunga se. Utadira mata, mandrakotu sa minarinkadin.
I don't know why I do these things for you, honestly. Vaga had better watch himself, though, or he'll be the biggest lump of dead slug on Nar Shaddaa.
Kawana bota yuta tanga kinamatura. Tayaita, taposanan hansata.
What?
Kawana bota yuta tanga kinamatura.
Poor Mira.
Tayaita, taposanan hansata.
All right, just give it to me and let's get this over with.
Poor Mira.
Great King.
Ah! It's horrible! It's horrible! We may never know, British Twitch.
Kawana bota yuta tanga kinamatura. Tayaita, taposanan hansata.
To my knowledge, you can't make Visas do it.
Kawana bota yuta tanga kinamatura. Tayaita, taposanan hansata.
Damn it, but I want to kill Voga really bad. I like she's dancing with a blaster, by the way. That is the worst dance ever. Seriously. That's just... It's right up there with Shepard. Oh, that's true, Deutsch. Damn it. But I need the fuel. Okay, hang on. Save. I don't remember how to activate stealth mode. Like, I really don't. Oh, that's right, I need to have the stealth thing on. That's why. There, now I can stealth. I cannot be seen! I am very stealthy! What? Oh, come on, I have a 50 stealth skill! 50! God damn it. Oh, wrong way. Apparently the hounds have really, 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 really good awareness. I call BS. Who's the GM of this campaign? Hey, Marley. Oh, okay. I was like, what am I looking for here? I am the best sneakician ever. Sneaktician. Alright, so let's just read through this. How to get the Juma Juice, which is on the other side of the universe from here. Malik GM'd Tor. Well, that wouldn't explain the good parts of Tor, though. That's true, Berenian. Knowing your particular luck. You might even kill them by listening too hard. I need to see if you guys are ready to advance that campaign. I haven't been looking at it lately. Self-admittedly, ever since the Lorerun started. You. Give me booze.
So, you have the look of a seasoned spacer about you. What backwash you looking for? That's so. Well, you're in luck.
Yeah, give it to me.
Here's the flat.
Wait a minute, we keep the dancer outfit? Oh my god, we do. Take that off, Mira. I mean, put something else on, but take that off. Handmaiden, could you put this on for me? Thanks. For no particular reason. It's for security. The fate of the Republic is at stake, Handmaiden. Malachient. Wait, really? It does. It has persuasion +2. That's great. Wait a minute. I can equip that? Hang on. Okay, put your real outfit back on. Okay, no, I can't. Even though it says I totally can. Hey, if I could put it on Visas Mar, I would, okay? Maybe someone else I know. Who we're not gonna talk about here. I mean, I've often said that, you know... you know what, I don't want to get into it. I can't make Kreia wear it. I just looked. Mira, the handmaiden, and female character are the only one who can do it. Ones who can do it. Whoops. Whoops. Whoa! We just teleported there. That is true, Loyalist. And that's the whole point, really. It's like socks, you know, except different. You know, the funny thing is, on HK-47, it wouldn't seem significant, really. It's like, oh no, I can see your parts? I guess? I got a dual saber from here. Oh, interesting. Hey, what's up? Thank you. My optical scanners are located up here, meatbag. Yeah, we're still working on getting the handmaiden Jedi'd. That's why she's level 6 still. Okay. Right. Oh, excuse me. And now back to Telos. With HK-47, actually. Hopefully we'll run into some assassin droids. You know, Star Wars makes you say weird stuff. I'm really hopeful that we run into some assassin droids. It's not really the kind of thing you'd normally talk about. And the swoop thing... Wait, that's... Where was the swoop place? Is it over here? Is this the swoop place? You! Talk to me! You can shave a Wookiee several times, but can only skin him once. Yeah.
Kavadumpe nasuraku popayi botenya tachemorosa kamsa javasko bosa. Drabinuka soba mamarma. Kawanabot Joanamas. Kavadumpe nasuraku pop. Kavadumpe.
Alright, now to go find this droid, whose name is Anakin for some reason. Reprogram the bastard. Whoa! Whoa, whoa, whoa! Okay, in case you didn't catch that, the droid was programmed that if he thought he was going to lose a race, he would self-destruct.
Watagratunji. Dahupa Bosakurata God. Kawana Botarak Chrono King Bolotonga Chop.
Classic hustle.
Genruta.
I totally blazed through it too quickly, Django.
Dahupa botenya gojucho picha. Kavadumpe na.
2,000 credits. Wow. That was some pretty awesome pod racing. You know what would be just... I'm sorry, this just occurred to me out of nowhere. So Anakin's up there, and he's like, now this is pod racing! And then, as of that moment, he gets hit by a stray blast and gets blown into a million pieces. Like, just picture the timing. Now this is pod racing! I mean, it's an accurate statement, if you think about it. So, fun fact, I've only ever gotten the necessary influence with KoTOR once, because it's always a pain to get influence with him for me. Actually, I did, and I still need to go turn in a couple quests. Damn it! Hang on, where's Force Speed? It must go fast. I should have at least a couple of quests to turn in down here. I can check out anytime I want, Mega Mike. What's funny is we had this same problem on Telos a little bit. Or, more accurately, on Citadel Station. Yeah, we're gonna do a little influence cheating pretty quickly here. Excuse me, excuse me, excuse me. Jedi business. Jedi business. Jedi business. Okay, we talked to her. We got her back to her husband.
Did you find us a...
Damn it, I thought I already had a pilot for her. Whatever, how about you? Nothing? Okay. And that one guy's already dealt with, and these guys are gone, so what the hell's?
Thank you for helping out Adana. I was worried about what would happen to her. Oh, hello again. What can I do for you? If you could convince Acerrico to leave us alone, that would help.
Should I
Thanks.
point out that the Acerrico are dead?
Oh, hello again.
Seriously.
Good luck.
Seriously, the Acerrico are dead! It doesn't get much more leave you alone than that. Oh, whatever. Damn it to hell. Hello? Are there any Serical left alive? Anyone? I mean, I kind of butchered half your people here, but... well, actually, more than half. All. But if anyone's left alive, come forward so I can negotiate a truce with you. I think after killing your entire force, you might be inclined towards my offer here, so, I mean... just some thoughts, guys. Hello? Hello? Come out, wherever you are. Well, that's what it did with the exchange, too, Takoitos. That wouldn't surprise me. Krea's like, what is that bastard doing this time? Would he stop? Would you stop helping people? It's not that hard. Oh, hello. Okay. I've already talked about KoTOR. I haven't talked about Mira yet. We're gonna wait on that until we actually get her to open up about herself. Oh yes, we did talk about KoTOR. Poor KoTOR. Alright, whatever. Whatever. Sirocco will never leave you alone because they're figments of your freaking imagination. I killed all of them. Just like Anakin. We're just taking his lessons to heart today, aren't we? Screw it. Where's Mira?
Yeah, something wrong? Shoot. Feels better to be back here, not cooped up on that ship. Well, Shaddaa may be one of the biggest cesspits in the galaxy, but it's got a life to it. Activity, aliens, people, refugees. It's like noise, but relaxing. Like the hum of a hyperdrive.
Right. I've already talked about that. And she's already refused Jedi training because I have no influence with her. You will fall to my influence, Mira. And then you will see a power unlike any you have ever witnessed. And I don't know where to get someone to get them off the planet either. That's been bothering me.
Oh, hello again. What can I do for you? If you could convince a Serico... If you could convince a Serico... Good luck.
Whatever. Really wish there was fast travel. The Serico. Oh god. Can you imagine? The Serico have lived on as Force ghosts. The Exile's influence is so great that anyone can learn to use the Force, right? I mean, we've established this. So, you know, oh god, can you imagine if, like, everything you killed turned into a Force ghost? Given our body count we create during this game. Including droids, by the way. Yes, I do, Marley. I know exactly which class I will be. Can you guess? Oh, right. Damn it, damn it, damn it, damn it. I'm sorry, Arcenter. Hope you guys liked the Into Darkness rumination, even though it was kind of repetitious. Must save family. Must save family. Actually, that would be docks. I need to go this way. The game is actively like, no! No, you can't save them! Kreia is influencing my game, guys. Yes, Wolf Dog, that's exactly why. Okay. Oh my god! I can't save the exile, or the... So what are we up to? That's 3 crashes now? 2 of them on Nar Shaddaa. I will save this family. I swear it. If I crash again here, though, I'm gonna leave them to die. Oh, thank God. Okay. I couldn't even imagine playing KoTOR on Windows 8. I imagine it would just be like, it does not compute.
You interrupting me for a reason? Pylon power supply badly damaged. Only can support one.
Okay.
Good, good. I give you basic access. Freighter with higher first 2 numbers has higher priority.
I'm gonna look this up because I don't feel like thinking about this. Hang on, Django. I don't know, Micromano. We will see. Blah, 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 blah. Except it isn't listed, of course. The autosave, Django. Alright, let's do it. Leroy! Wait, the computer's right here. Or maybe it isn't. Oh, it's pylon 2 I have to go to. Okay. Silver Zephyr first. Alakandor. They missed an S there. Second. Third, Tuna's Prophets.
You help Faza. I not forget. Now why you bother me again? What? Do I look like a passenger ship to you? Ah, you're right. You help me, I help you. Fine, I'll do for you. But don't ask of Fasa again. What else?
That's it. Yay! Alright, so let's go check out Voga. To satisfy curiosity. So what are we looking for here, Django? And I asked that now. And yes, it is Loki. We looked it up earlier. Okay, what do you want? Looks open to me, Django. Okay, so now what, Django? I mean, I can kill the Cathhounds. In fact, I am amused that he thinks Cathhounds would be a good deterrent, but whatever. I'm sure he's used to people who aren't really of our quality of combat efficiency. Ah, I see why you asked. Okay, sense make. Okay. Now let's go tell her the good news, and then... Let's save. And then... We will finally be off Nar Shaddaa forever. Finally, finally, finally. So who all has plans tomorrow, out of curiosity? For our YouTube viewers, tomorrow is the 4th of July. I like to think that Griff, in his ever bewildering efforts to try and make money come to be... that's a good point. Oh, you're right, we don't. Decided to go ahead and try to loan money to this new up-and-comer named KoTOR. And then he tried to swindle KoTOR out of the money he was owed to. And for some reason, unlike just about everyone else, KoTOR just didn't want to tolerate that. And long story short, I think Griff is in several pieces right now. Oh, I'm sorry, I just totally forgot this. What lightsaber are we using for Bao-Dur? Blue! Apparently we're using a blue light... Really? Blue? Okay, okay. Whatever, guys. You're the boss, so to speak. Yeah, we'll do it later, I guess. I've already heard fireworks around here, by the way. As of yesterday, even. That's pretty normal, and just about wherever I've lived in the past. That's what I'm doing, Jonga.
Has there been any sign of the ship?
No, mistress, nor any word of our sister. We do not know where they travel now.
The freighter. It is important. And I thought the droid was as well, but I was wrong.
Mistress, we still do not know the significance of the ship or the droid. We downloaded all you asked, but we are still no closer to the answers you seek.
Then perhaps we'll need to have faith that your sister will change her mind, remember her oath, and return to us with the answers we seek.
I hope so, mistress. But there has been no word of her since she departed with the other 4 on the freighter.
4?
Yes, mistress. The Iridonian, the Ichani-trained pilot, the exile, and the old woman.
Old woman?
Yes, mistress.
I do not recall seeing her.
Mistress, she was secured for much of the time the exile was here. At other times you were meditating, and we did not wish to disturb you.
Dun, dun,
Mistress,
dun.
is there something wrong?
I am tired. I sometimes feel as if things are collapsing all around us. It is just at the edge of perceptions, waiting. I fear things will collapse before our enemies reveal themselves.
Yes, mistress.
I will meditate upon this. Perhaps it will clear my mind.
Because she's got issues, Formosan. I mean, literally, that's kind of the real reason. She has so many issues. So yes, 4th of July, aka Fireworks Day, aka Independence Day, aka whatever the hell you want to call it, is generally considered to be a fairly big deal around here. Arguably one of the big 3 holidays throughout the course of the year. 4th of July, Thanksgiving, Christmas. He's got force jump. Oh, that's why I don't have force jump. I've been wondering at this entire time. And then I realized the truth. I'm not a guardian. Whatever. I always forget your birthday, Sterlings. But it's okay, because I forget mine, too. That's not a joke, I really do. Battle meditation for Bao-Dur? That's just mean. So let's give him that blue lightsaber that you wanted. I think that's blue. Or is this blue? Oh, nope, this is blue. Okay. There we go. Bao-Dur's lightsaber. Let's see. What robe should we give him? We already have the dark robe for her. That robe for him, and that robe for him. Why don't we do the... Hey, you guys voted blue. Don't come to me about it. What? What? Wait. Yeah. I damn you to wear nothing for failing me. Okay, fine. Wear the Sith battlesuit. Enjoy being a stormtrooper, you bastard. Anyways, Last Echo, were you asking what my plans are for the 4th? I'm not sure yet, to be completely honest. I'm torn between streaming, which is the so-called obvious choice, and not streaming and just getting some recording done. Can someone do me a favor and tell me what the best blasters are in the game? Because I want to get like 3 of them and then use them. But yeah, one way or another I'm going to be working. That's kind of how I do things. Okay, so what's the best rifle in the game then? Mandalorian Disintegrator, thank you. Hey, Space Cowboy, welcome back. You're just catching us doing some boring stuff as we get our characters a little set up here. Where is it? Okay. Let's go and do a save really quick. And now let's do lots of cheating. I have given in to the dark side. That is true, Dakota. It's one of the, I really, really wish we could do that more often. In fact, one of my canon characters in the Star Wars, or not Star Wars, world in Warcraft, actually his only weapon he uses is a massive shield. He uses it pretty effectively, too. We must all be Jedi. Although Mira and Handmaiden are not Jedi yet, and that bothers me. We need to fix that. We must spread the Jedi dogma all the way across the galaxy. Okay. I gotta remember all the things I want to do here, because I've been trying to save on editing stuff for a while. First of all, let's change the sound set, because I've been meaning to do that. To... Bashlishan. There we go. Let's see. Go to... Influence, a bajillion. HK47, influence, bajillion. And mirror, influence, bajillion. We have approximately 1 bajillion influence with all of our people. Which makes sense given the whole black hole void thing going on. And I think that's it for that. Yes, there have, Wolfdog. More than a few. Okay, we need... let's go with the Mandalorian Heavy Repeater. I don't know what the item code is, though, so we're going to have to look it up over here. And Heavy Repeater. There it is. W, apparently. WWW. WB Rifle 28. That one right there. Add. Okay. Ooh. Which one's the droid disintegrator? That would be 29, as it happens. Sure. Scroll to... Oh, damn it! I didn't... I didn't know this was over here. I'm still a noob at cheating, as you can see here. Yeah, anyways. I also want some blasters for my 2 droids. So let's find some decent blasters, shall we? Aha! Blasters. Elite Watchman? Sure. Micropulse? Why not? Systech? Yeah, sure. The Onassi Blaster? That sounds like a good one. I have lots of stuff over here. What else did I want to do? I wanted to set that. Let's see. I wanted to set that. See, I disagree with that, Dakota, but that's just my take on it. I've already given my opinion on that, though. Is that everything I want to do? I think that is. I wanted to get blasters, influence. Pretty sure that's it. So let's go ahead and commit. Revan... Revan is currently off being interrogated by Lord Scourge right now. So, yeah. Not the best of fates. Hello, dog. Do you need to go out? I don't think you do, the way you're acting. But just in case, I'll let you go out in just a second, okay? There we go. Hey, look, it's Canderous' blaster. Oh, yes, absolutely, Wolf Dog, even though we don't actually know how that would work. Theoretically. Alright, I'm coming. Oh, I'm coming, dog. Set you up. Good. Ugh. Oh, awesome, food. That sounds fantastic. Could you do a thing, though, where, like, at the end we get to choose between the Sith side, the Jedi side, and, like, I don't know, the dumb side? We'll have to come up with a third side there. I suppose that is feasible to Koita. It's just interesting that all of the Exile's powers, including the so-called special skill and the Void Black Hole thing, both go away as soon as KoTOR 2 ends. I mean, literally as soon as KoTOR 2 ends. And that's not me making anything up. That's the book, and... Hey, some HKs. Hey, guys.
Diagnostic? For some reason, I cannot fire. Obvious statement. This was not anticipated. I am attempting to access my weapon systems, and I cannot. Alarmed embarrassment. If this gets back to the other units, we will be decommissioned.
Oh, sure, he gets the force jump. I have to walk up like some kind of plebeian with my twin white lightsabers of doom. Oh, that makes much more sense, Mega Mike. They nerfed her.
Systems failing, Master. Statement. Master, if you could indulge me for a moment, I must express some degree of irritation at your actions. Perhaps my anticipation of working with one who served at Malachor 5 was too high, but you are countering all those expectations. Statement. Well, all your behavior up to this point suggests either strong atonement or confirmation that the atrocities attributed to you during the war were in fact accidents. Statement. I suspected as much, Master. There are few who would discuss such things with an assassination droid, and that is perfectly understandable. I mean, what use is there for communication in a galaxy such as ours? Understanding might be achieved, or sympathies might be gained by such callous acts. You are right to remain silent about your past. I have seen the damage that repressing such things brings, and it is far preferable to share such traumas.
Thank you, HK.
Answer. Why? Because your actions then and now are related, and I feel I need some context. I confess to being somewhat needy that way. Statement. Sometimes, Master, it is difficult for meatbags to step back and gain some perspective on death and its importance in their insignificant lives. Explanation. You see, Master, assassination is such a versatile tool. I have seen the removal of a single target have far-reaching consequences for a nation, world, even a galaxy. The repercussions of even the smallest lives, whether dead or alive, can have profound implications on history. But surely you realize this.
Oh yeah. As an aside, with response to what Kronok just said there, I doubt HK would be particularly happy about how his story arc develops after this point in time either, since he has two more stories after KoTOR 2. One in Tor, and one about 3,000 years later.
Statement. Why your own life, Master? Your single life changed the face of the galaxy, of history itself. Malachor 5 was
Even though Tor tries very hard to forget that.
But its impact on the lives of others in the galaxy was far more extreme. I mean, Master, you brought about the death of the Mandalorian race. I doubt they realize it yet, but you dealt them a blow from which they will never recover.
That is true. As it happens. Interestingly enough. Alright, I'm coming. Money. Oof. As an aside, one of the things I always find interesting is that I've always had the impression, prior to Tor, that the Exile was actually, in their own way, more of a mover and shaper, more powerful, more influential than Revan was. Revan was just the one who gets the credit, if you know what I mean, the face, the mask, or whatever. And I mean, I don't want to say Revan wasn't influential and didn't do a lot of things, but I've always felt the Exile was just more. I just say that's interesting because when Tor comes along, the first thing they do is they push Revan so high up on a pedestal you can't even see him, and the Exile is a Force ghost. who gets like 5 lines of dialogue devoted towards her. So, anyways.
Statement. Oh, Master, who deserved what and why is of no consequence. It is only killing a target and how it is done that matters. Statement. Query. I must express some degree of confusion concerning your actions. You are the one who followed Revan in the Mandalorian Wars, are you not? Observation. Well, Master, I was not at Malachor 5 during your near-genocidal reaction to the Mandalorian threat, but I feel that I may have been constructed as a result of that. Observation. I believe that Revan determined that mass slaughter on such a scale may no longer be needed to achieve his aims. So perhaps you are responsible for my creation.
This is actually pretty accurate from what I understand.
Answer. No, Master. I was constructed shortly after the beginning of the Jedi Civil War. Answer. Oh, Master, please use your imagination. I am an illegally constructed assassination droid designed to masquerade as a protocol droid until I reach my target. Clarification. Well, yes, perhaps concerning the somewhat dubious morality of the Republic's Senate, that would leave some doubt as to my allegiance. Answer. Very well. Yes, I served on Revan's side during the Jedi Civil War, just as you did against the Mandalorians. Answer. Well, Master, unless you were operating on my central control cluster, I would be somewhat hesitant to discuss my targets. But I suppose it could do no harm. During the Jedi Civil War, I was responsible for certain strategic targets. For some reason, Revan did not feel that the Republic presented much of a military threat. Aside, I am somewhat unclear as to why this was so, but Revan did have a certain biological instinct regarding such things, so I will simply say that there were probably reasons for such an assessment.
Of course, Dog Andes. There's some people who like all sorts of characters. There's some people who like Malik, for God's sakes. I mean, you know.
Answer. Revan felt the true war was against the Jedi. Observation. It was not something discussed with much of the others, but I think Revan recognized that a single Jedi, both in the past and in the present, could turn the tide of a conflict. So my targets were frequently Jedi, or someone close to a Jedi that could result in their corruption or collapse. Revan often assigned me to kill leaders or supporters of certain Jedi so as to erode their will. Answer. Revan saw the pressures of war on Duxon and knew that even in the heat of conflict, Jedi could be broken, not physically, but psychologically. Observation. It is a curious thing to assassinate and wound someone's personality, to assassinate them psychologically, and it took me some time to reconcile the acts. I am much more used to their direct approach. Still, I served well and killed many Jedi. Observation. Master, that was the lesson of Malachor. Any Jedi involved in the systematic slaughter on such a scale cannot help but doubt and question themselves. Observation. Master, I do not believe that the Mandalorians were the true target at Malachor. I believe that the intention was to destroy the Jedi, break their will, and make them loyal to Revan. I do not know if you examined the records of the deaths on Malachor, but you cannot escape that many of the Jedi and Republic soldiers who died were not Revan's strongest supporters. Observation. I believe that Revan was cleaning house at Malachor 5. What ones did not die became Revan's allies against the Republic. Answer. Oh, yes, Master. I hope none of them were friends of yours. But really, they had it coming. I do not know when the Jedi ceased to be adherents to their code, but many did not tread cautiously, and many were quite arrogant when facing a droid, as if we were somehow beneath them. It gave certain kills and added pleasure when being underestimated. Cautionary. Master, don't take this the wrong way. But in my opinion, a blaster shot to the throat is often the best way of silencing Jedi hypocrisy. I have found many Jedi to be arrogant practitioners of pacifism when it is convenient for them. Also, their tendency to never directly answer a question is rather annoying. Statement. I do not have the exact counts, Master. Since it is difficult to determine who was a Jedi and who was not, it seemed to be largely a matter of perspective. I did kill many soldiers who used techniques in combat that could make them be considered Jedi, although they call themselves Sith.
And yes, Shadow. Congrats for remembering this. This is pretty much exactly what I was talking about right here.
Observation.
Hang on, so...
Observation.
We already kind of did all this.
Request. First, Master, I would appreciate it if Jedi need to be killed, that you permit me to kill those annoying pseudo-pacifists for you. But if you are determined to do it yourself, then there are many techniques I would suggest. Recitation. First, weapon selection is critical. If I see one more idiot attacking a Jedi with a blaster pistol, then I'll kill them myself. Answer. Select grenades, sonic screamers, cluster rockets, and plasma charges. Mines are also effective, since many Jedi will run to meet you in hand-to-hand combat. Silly Jedi. Addendum. Gas attacks are effective if you can take the Jedi by surprise. Inhalation is less effective than ones that work on skin contact, as some Jedi seem to be able to hold their breath for long periods of time. Cautionary. Still, don't rely on it, since Jedi can fight off the effects. It just distracts them, leaving them open to another avenue of attack.
By the way, this combined with what Atten talks about is one of the things I like to mention when it comes to so-called mundanes being able to take down Force users. It of course is a matter of perspective, but standard Force users, yeah.
Recitation. Do not forget to activate any energy shields you possess. Lightsabers, while powerful, have trouble penetrating most military-issue energy shields, provided they are energy shields and not those crude Mandalorian melee shields. Answer. Countering their other powers is more difficult. Confession. I do not fully understand their other abilities, but I do know that many of them require that the Jedi know that you are there and can see you. Thus, sniping and using cover are always advantageous. Evaluation. A technique that Revan used frequently was to attack a Jedi indirectly. This method only works if the Jedi is adhering to the self-destructive path of pacifism and sacrifice. Answer. Kill their allies or place them in jeopardy. Many Jedi will leave themselves exposed in order to protect another. That is why there are many less Jedi than there were a decade ago. Cautionary. Oh no, Master. In fact, that is the worst thing you can do. Explanation. Statistically, over-planning the assassination of a Jedi seems to backfire. Extrapolation. There are many theorists who claim Jedi can see the future, and I do not know if that is true, but it seems impulsive acts are more common to succeed than planned incidents. Jedi, like sand kivers, seem to sense trouble a few seconds before it happens. They are tricky little pests. Answer. No, Master. In addition to traps, mines, and orbital bombardment, Revan and the Sith often employed meatbag assassins for some Jedi skilled in the same techniques that I was trained in. Strangely enough, Revan believed that meatbags that did not use or believe in the Force were especially important, since in many respects, they were more difficult for Jedi to detect. Revan had many of them trained to hide their minds, as it were. Again, once these techniques were learned, the percentage of living Jedi began to decrease accordingly. Answer. Generally, this was done by broadcasting strong emotions while thinking about something else. It was a curious technique, but it seemed to be effective in blinding Jedi. Whether guilt, lust, fear, they act as mental interference, making finding the true intentions of the broadcasting meatbag difficult. Answer. Obviously, a Force-sensitive broadcasting such emotions puts themselves at a risk of not using the Force properly, since to use it seems to require an inner calm that most meatbags do not possess. As much as the Jedi could not use such a technique, the Sith Lords cannot use it for much the same reasons. Such passions as guilt, lust, and fear are really strengths to the Sith code. Statement. The Master felt it was ironic that only people who had experienced such passions could harm Jedi in such a way that to kill Jedi, you had to be a human being. Revan found that quite amusing. Answer. The odds of me being forced to use such techniques against you has decreased, Master. There are some methods I could describe if you wish. Statement. Overwhelming odds is also a good tactic, Master. There are few Jedi that can long hold their ground against 100 attackers all firing at once, or being turned on by their own troops.
Order 66.
The most
Oh, excuse me.
weapon against Jedi seems to be the erosion of the spirit. Answer. Revan claimed that psychological warfare against Jedi was important because much of their power comes from their state of mind, their connection to this religion called the Force. Revan said that many Jedi have the capability to form connections to life around them, although few of them realize the extent to which this is possible. Recollection. I believe my master speculated that many Jedi did not fully form such connections because of their discipline, because they never opened their lives to the passions around them. I believe Revan termed it that one would need to be a human being to develop such connections. It is something that the Jedi Code could not teach. One simply knew it instinctively or not. Observation. Master, I am somewhat surprised that I need to explain this to you at all, considering your past with Revan. Answer. Why, he said you had such capability, Master, but it would be your downfall. To tie so much of yourself into others, if they suffer or die, then you would die as well. Observation. I think Revan pitied you, Master. It was very insulting, if I may say so. Clarification. Whatever it is called, Master, it seems to be quite a vulnerability. Revan even admitted as such. When a Jedi or any soldier suffers doubt, it weakens them. With the Jedi, however, it is more pronounced, since they are extreme examples. That is why Revan felt that Malachor 5 was so important. It was intended to be a conversion tool. Assessment. When faced with a continuous series of hard-fought battles, I detected a significant statistical increase in Jedi following Revan over the Jedi Code, a compromise in principles brought about by battlefield conditions. The emotional weight of war changed Jedi morale, power, and eventually their allegiance. Conclusion. I believe the Mandalorian Wars were to beat the Mandalorians, and also to allow Revan to build the foundation of his army.
As I like to say, why do one thing at a time when you can do 5 things at a time? And that was pretty much Revan's strategy style in a nutshell. I was going to say something else and I just lost it. That was a lot of text together.
But I am surprised you have already arrived at this conclusion. Surely the loss of your troops and the Jedi who served under you at Malachor V had a detrimental effect upon you and your ties to the Force. And I suspect your desire to be around others ever again. Statement.
How the hell did we get Darkseid out of all that? Net Darkseid shift, too. Just, wow.
Query. Answer. This new theory concept Twi'lek.
Here we go.
Statement. Master, that is a question that has an extremely complicated answer. You see, I do not believe my master knew who he was most of the time, which led to some confusing situations that could have otherwise been avoided. Clarification. Suffice to say that my master had his ups and downs, and, in my opinion, traveled from a high point in his life to a low point, and then back again to his true potential. He could be a merciless, efficient killer when the need arose. It really made my behavior core glow. And even as a meatbag, my master still had some remarkably efficient droid-like qualities which I admired. He, too, suffered memory problems, as I did. Statement. Oh, yes, Master. As indicated upon my reassembly, my central control cluster is damaged, making recalling my previously stored assassination protocols difficult. I hope that over time I shall eventually reach the status and skill I possessed before I was damaged. Recollection. The last thing I remember is having my core wiped from the last 5 years. I believe my master was responsible. Answer. Even with my memory impairment, I recall that my master was about to embark on a dangerous journey. Conjecture. I believe there was something about my master's destination that he did not wish me to know. Answer. I am somewhat disappointed that my master did not choose to take me along, of course. Wherever my master traveled, destruction and death were assured. Speculation, but I suspect I was not the only one left behind. So there is some satisfaction that the disrespect was spread through the rest of his whiny, simpering meatbag allies. Statement. Oh, yes. My master had quite the collection of tortured individuals that seemed unable to confront their basic personality conflicts. Let me cite some specific examples. Mockery.
Oh, Master! I do not trust you! I cannot trust you or anyone ever again!
Mockery.
Oh, Master, I love you, but I hate all you stand for. But I think we should go press our slimy, mucus-covered lips together in the cargo hold.
Conclusion. Such pheromone-driven human responses never cease to decrease the charge in my capacitors, and make me wish I could press a blaster pistol to my behavior core and pull the trigger. I am pleased that this does not seem to be the case with your current entourage. Statement. Yes, well, enough of that painful stroll through what remains of my memories. Was there something else you wish to know?
Okay, that was the last one I wanted to get here. Oh, actually, we do have one other thing to do. So let's... does John go there? Because I don't know how to further progress the droid factory situation now that HK has interacted with the droids. Hey, I got you some fuel.
So you've returned. Really? That's great news. The situation here hasn't improved at all. What did you discover? Boga the Hutt? That's preposterous. What makes you think we'd be willing to do that? A glut of fuel isn't going to help our position much in this case. It's a resource that's needed throughout the galaxy, and he'll be able to command a high price for it. Still, we don't have much of a choice. We need fuel, and we need it fast. I'll bring this up with the Telosian Council and urge them to broker a deal with Boga. Now, I believe I gave you my word that there would be a reward for information leading to the establishment of a fuel source for the station. Never believed for a moment that you'd actually be collecting it. But I'm a man of my word. So here you are. Now, I've got to send this information to the Council right away.
Oh, actually...
So you've returned. What is it? I see. I see. Well, here it is.
There. Turning on our last bounty while we're here. Statement. I believe that this game is exceptionally good. Biased statement. I also believe that this game really highlights exactly why I am the truly superior Sith. Yes, I know, Lamppost. I know. Ugh. Not quite, Shadow.
Take a look at your circuitry.
Answer: indeed I did. I hope you understand how difficult it is for me to trust a meatbag with something as delicate as my inner mechanics. Explanation: our encounters with my copies has convinced me that I should look into upgrading my capabilities in order that I may be able to destroy them with greater impunity.
Worried you might be going obsolete? I understand.
Objection. Nothing of the sort. I am programmed to improve my capabilities if it will improve my chances of destroying a target, even as unsavory an avenue as this.
You don't have to suffer on my account. Maybe you are better off not letting me dig around in you.
Retraction. You must understand, my previous interactions with meatbags have rarely been pleasant. Disclosure. After all, most of those meetings involved the termination of said meatbags.
It obviously couldn't have been your charming personality. Now, if you want me to see if I can upgrade your functionality, just let me get to work on you.
Answer. In that case, please go ahead. Just be careful not to damage any of my delicate parts. Analysis. My self-diagnostic indicates that my performance has indeed been improved. Also, many of my systems are reporting improved efficiency. Commentary. I am most pleased with this turn of events. It would appear that my initial analysis of your mechanical abilities was incorrect.
You're welcome.
Query. Is there someone that you need killed, Master?
Yes? I do not think...
Home sweet home. Kinda. You know, once upon a time I would have made a joke of saying, what do you think is the worst game they could make a movie out of? But they made a movie out of Battleship. So I think they already won that one. Alright, let's go talk to Mira. Then we're going to pause for just a little bit for me to get a little food in me. It'll only be like 5 minutes. And then we'll be back.
Yeah, something wrong? Talk. About what? Why, you trying to be my father? No thanks. Already had one. Somewhere. Are you sure you're a Jedi? That exile of yours must have gone on longer than I thought. Look, you're way too old for me. Even if I were interested,
okay,
you couldn't handle me anyway.
Whoa,
I mean,
whoa,
you're really good
Mira.
at the fight, and you've got those intense eyes. I mean, it's obvious you take care of your body, but I really don't have the luxury of getting attached to you. Besides, you already have your little entourage. I don't want to be a part of the pack, you know?
I wasn't trying to flirt. I was just trying to chat.
Look, if we start sharing a bunk, the other girls would get upset, and then I'd have to kick the hell out of them to show them who's the pack leader around here. No thanks. You're a sweet old guy. But let's keep it professional.
I'm not...
It's more than age. I thought I'd seen a lot, but you look like you're 100 inside. Alright.
Ham!
It's all this I'd rather we... Yeah.
We're gonna
well, it's
sit through a couple of these.
Yeah. Maybe one day, I'll let you. Alright, but I doubt you're gonna show me anything.
I wasn't trying to flirt.
And when you show me, don't act like a tourist. It attracts predators.
I wasn't trying to... Just...
Yeah, something wrong? Talk. Go ahead. Hanhar's only a bounty hunter because that's the closest word for what he does. He's not out for credits. It's more vicious than that, and it runs a lot deeper. It's like he's out to make the whole galaxy suffer. Every living thing in it. He wants to break them, ruin them, and when they can't suffer anymore, he wants them dead. I didn't kill him once. Biggest mistake ever. Do you really want to hear this? Well, Hanhar and me go way back, in the worst possible way. He's from some forest planet on the Outer Rim where Zerka had set up one of their slaving operations. I don't remember the name. Something with too many K's and Y's. It sounds like you're gargling Ronto spit when you say it. No idea. He's just... Hanhar. I hope there aren't any more like him. I get the impression he's not a good representative of his people, though. He's the equivalent of a mad calf hound among Rontos. Some of Voga the Hett's men said Hanhar killed his own tribe, but those two crud thugs lie every time they open their mouths, so who knows?
As an aside, I like the fact that, remember, Kashyyyk and the Wookiees are very recent to the galactic community. At this point, like 65 years recent. No, 69 at this point, I just realized. So it actually is kind of cool that there are people like Mira who've literally never even heard of a Wookiee and don't even know the species name. I just kind of like that.
Well, not for long. Once off planet, Hanhar escaped from the Zerka slavers, then killed them all. I don't know. I always thought he just liked using them as weapons. Well, before you get too proud of him, Hanhar figured Zerka had the right idea. I don't think he understood the concept of slavery before, at least on the scale that Zerka practiced it. But now he did. You ever hear of Dursan 3, or the ID cluster colonies? Right, that's because Hanhar happened. He makes what happened to his homeworld look like an exercise in community building. He's not a bounty hunter. He's a slaver. A predator. It's like he's out to enslave or kill every human in the galaxy, like he's trying to settle some huge score or debt. I don't get it. But he's dangerous. I was prey. And not only did I escape, but I saved his life while doing it. He's been hunting me ever since. I don't pretend to understand it, but among his people, they have these codes of honor. But somewhere along the line, Hanhar's got twisted. His people form these things called life debts. If you save the life of one of them, they pledge themselves to you. Well, with Hanhar, he can't escape that life debt. It's bred into him. But he hates every other living thing in the galaxy, so pledging himself to someone else, especially a human, was unbearable. So when I saved his life, it was the worst thing I could do. It was like slavery all over again. But it was in his head. It was like it pushed him over the edge. A life debt to Hanhar is a death sentence. He'll hunt you until you're dead. When I saved his life, it meant he had to kill me. And so he kept chasing me in hopes I would die. I think the fact I showed him mercy after hating humans for so long, that was something he couldn't stand. Probably. But if he had multiple life debts, especially to humans, Hanhar would probably go mad. He was angry before, sure, but he'd be 10 times worse if that happened.
By the way, the original intended name for the Wookiee homeworld is going to be Lorerun. Not 100% sure on the pronunciation there. It was later turned into just the name of the city. That was Timothy's on, by the way.
Hanhar's tough. Really tough. And when he loses it, it's like nothing can stop him. I've seen him shrug off blaster bolts, Bothan stunners, and even survive a freighter crash on Dursan 3. He keeps coming. Oh, I'm glad he's gone. It's like a weight off my shoulders. I don't have to keep watching my back every minute, wondering when he's gonna show up. And he always did. It's like he always knew where I was. Trust me, if he was still alive, he'd be chasing us even now, waiting to ambush us when we least expect it. And he always shows up at the worst possible time. He was one of the best bounty hunters on Nar Shaddaa. Hanhar never gives up on his prey. Or his life debts. He's a hunter. He's a natural predator.
Yeah, I agree, by the way, Dog Andes. Them taking some basic ideas. KoTOR 1 is an amazing game and did some amazing things to the franchise and the setting, like I said. But KoTOR 2 took a lot of that and took it to the next level in many cases, and that's one of the things I like about KoTOR 2 so much.
Shoot. Well, as happens on Nar Shaddaa, I made someone mad. Mad enough for them to send Hanhar after me. Turns out they were even able to get him cheap. He'd heard about me and wanted to hunt me down, for sport. He didn't think I'd be much of a challenge. Well, he tried to box me down in vents beneath the Nar Shaddaa docks, and he'd set one too many proximity mines to cover the escape routes. I think he'd hoped to drive me into the mines and then let them do the work. Or that I'd be too scared to try and walk through them. Thing is, I knew Hanhar's supplier, and the trigger signatures for the mines. It was pretty easy to broadcast a signal to blind their sensor receptors for a minute or two. I figured that would buy me enough time to move through them and get away. No, it isn't. I spent most of my childhood hauling mines and munitions. Got to know my way around them. If I hadn't, I wouldn't be here right now. Like I said, I disarmed the trigger fuses for enough of the mines to get by, temporarily. And Hanhar was pretty fast on my trail. I just made it to safety when he hit the first one. The blast leveled the entire ventilation section, and Hanhar was caught right in the middle, and he survived. Barely. He was crawling around, blinded from the flash and the plasma burns. And it happened so fast. All the blood had been scabbed and crusted from the flash. I had the drop on him, and even blind, he knew it. He could still hear me. My ears were ringing from the blast, but I could hear him. I think he was begging me to let him live. His voice, it wasn't a roar, more like an echo of it. I suppose I should have killed him, but I couldn't do it. He was in pain, he was helpless. So I dragged him out of there enough to get him to safety, and he kept hunting me ever since. He said he'd pursue me to the edge of the galaxy. No matter where I ran, he would find me and break me, that I would always be prey. Maybe. I've thought about that moment. A lot. Wondered if I would do things differently if I had another chance.
No matter how many times I leave Nar Shaddaa, just keeps pulling me back in. Seriously. I just keep getting sucked right back into Nar Shaddaa. One thing I found interesting is so many of your characters can be Jedi in this game. And there's some theories about that. One of them is that it's pure chance. One of them is that most of these people were drawn to you because of the whole, thing that we talked about, that thing. But there's another. Canada Dry. Anyways, But there's another theory which I actually really like personally, and it completely flies in the face of what half of Star Wars says. And I have to admit, that might be part of why I like it. The theory is, with the exceptions, everyone is Force sensitive. In other words, it's only a matter of degree. The people that we actually refer to as Force sensitives are people who have already manifested their connection to the Force significantly. By contrast, everyone else is like if we were to do it on a 0 to 100 scale, with 100 being Yoda or Palpatine or whatever, or Vishay, and 0 being a droid, that most people would be like 3 or 4 on the list, and thus a Force sensitive would be up here at like the 20 range, right? So the theory here is that literally anyone could be trained in the Force, kind of like how in some settings, literally anyone can become a mage because it's just a matter of training and teaching. And I've always liked that idea, because it doesn't really cheapen it, because you'd still need tremendous sense of will and discipline and the ability to actually keep going with it and stick with it, blah, 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 in order to actually become a Force user and actually be able to wield the Force. But it would also explain the whole usage of the term Force sensitive, because some people are simply stronger in the Force naturally, thanks to their birth or their genetics or random chance or whatever, which is also true with magic, actually, over in other settings. I don't know, it's just something I've always liked. So, just my take on it.
What's wrong? Why are you stopping? I've been out here hundreds of times. There's nothing special about it. No, I don't believe in the Force. It's Jedi tricks, sleight of hand. This I'd like to see. It's not gonna hurt, is it?
Feel the currents here on Nar Shaddaa, the ebb of life. A simple kindness can be given to another.
Even in that case, Dog Andes, I would argue that 90% of your skill comes down to training and skill. Because like I said, even a Force sensitive, if someone who is just slightly stronger, you have to really get trained and work for it in order to become much, much, much more powerful than that. There are very few people who are like super amazingly, innately strong in the Force. In fact, I think we can bring that list down to like 3 people, including Anakin himself, who's kind of a special case. And even Anakin, I would honestly put more at like a 30 on the list, if we're doing this 0 to 100 thing again. That's certainly high, and indeed stronger than several Jedi ever become. But that still doesn't make him that skilled or that powerful by himself. For him to actually go up to the Darth Vader level of way up here, that's all skill, that's all training. That's all working through it and getting better at it and experience and that kind of a thing. This is, of course, just my perspective on it. But it's something I've always liked, because it implies that just about anybody could become this skilled with the Force. And the people who actually do are the ones who actually really try to do so. They put the work into it. They put the effort into it. They earn it, in other words. So.
This is the Force. And all our choices, from the greatest to the smallest, affect each other. And the echoes travel.
I can feel this planet. I can't shut it out. It's louder now, it hurts. All these people. That's what I want. I'm sure of it more than anything. I want to become like you. I want to be strong. I don't want to be afraid or alone anymore. I don't want to keep running and looking and never feel like I'm finding what I'm looking for. I am tired of being hunted. When the galaxy takes something from me, I want the power to let go. And I want the power to heal the echo when it's gone.
Now that is a very interesting mindset into the Force. Also, there's this chasm right over there that all your answers are down, Mira.
That sounds alright, from where I'm standing.
Yeah, really good voice acting for Mira there, by the way. And yeah, I think she does say something about that Loki. If I'm not mistaken. Oh, Micromano, the 3 are Anakin, Jackass from Force Unleashed 1, and Yoda. There we go. Gotta think about that one. Although that's assumptive on my part, I will freely admit, since we know so little about Yoda. Now we will level Mira as a sentinel. Should we give her one lightsaber, two lightsabers, or a dual saber? Let's do a poll while we're leveling her. Single saber, dual wield, dual saber. There you go. 3 options. In fact, we'll actually back out of this. By the way, you can back out of leveling in this game. And you may be like, well, okay, why is that significant? But I mentioned that because you couldn't do that in KoTOR 1. Which irritated the snot out of me. I've always felt Revan is really, really good at his application of the Force. And Exile is stronger in terms of raw power, but not nearly as skilled. So, you know, Revan overall being stronger than the Exile, in other words. Now we just need to get higher levels so we can go to, and we're finally leaving Nar Shaddaa, guys. We never have to go back here. Ever. Ever. We're free from Nar Shaddaa. We're free from Nar Shaddaa. Overall, I like it, Dog Andes. I can't think of any case where I don't like it. In fact, I think they handle male and female characters both very well, personally. Never, Django! Although I actually do need to talk to Mira a little bit more. But where'd T3 go? T3? T3? I will never go back to Nar Shaddaa. I'd rather die than go back. Oh, we need to talk to Goto as well. Well, you'd rather just have 1 or 2, Sethos. Agreed, Kemek. Absolutely. That's totally what I'd do, by the way.
I say thanks for what you showed me on Nar Shaddaa. It's gonna take some time to let it sink in, but thanks. I feel alive.
It's not my doing. You did it. You've taken your first step into a larger world.
It's strange, but it feels right somehow, like a piece inside me just clicked into place. Talk. All right. I've killed people before, but not if I don't have to. Oh, do I? Is that it? How you could ever possibly hope to understand is beyond me. Jedi don't have family. I know what happened at Malachor 5, and I know the Jedi didn't care about life there. Get away from me. The next time you come and ask me a question, I swear I'll shoot you in the head and dump you out the airlock.
Whoa, Mira. Whoa, 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 whoa. Chill pill.
What have you brought me? I am willing to indulge some of your questions. So, they are known qualities. I also use them on board my ship for defense. But that in itself means little. I assure you, I am as flesh and blood as you are. I simply find personal meetings distasteful. Perhaps I used such a droid to watch and predict the flow of the games. Yes, you are very perceptive. Ah, yes. Swoop racing does indeed have its profits. But that in itself means little. I assure you, I am as... It is so unfortunate when an intelligent sentient dies on Shaddaa. It is also unfortunate that thousands die such deaths on the smuggler's moon every day. I will concede Visquis was effective in using the Jedi to cloak his movements. A clever, organic deception indeed. Indeed. How insulting. But I suppose I should accept such arrogance from an ex-Jedi. And what, may I ask, has caused you to come to this flawed deduction? If he had encountered the frequency with which I relayed commands and information, then the fault was his for excessive curiosity. I am intrigued as to where you are taking this amusing theory, nothing more. It is not so improbable. Often, if a droid has not had a memory wipe in some time, aberrant behavior patterns can manifest themselves. Or if the droid in question is given an order it cannot fulfill, it will break. But all that is irrelevant. Your amusing leaps of logic are becoming shorter and more desperate. I have told you, I prefer stability. It was lost, yes. It was given an impossible order. It was told to calculate a means by which the Republic could be saved. It could not fulfill its primary programming, not by abiding by the laws of the Senate. And so, like the Republic, the droid broke. It made a simple decision: preserve the Republic or preserve the laws of the Republic. And I still believe it to be the correct decision. You do not know the indignity of being compelled to save something you do not believe can or should be saved. It is beneath me to clean up this mess caused by your kind, you Jedi. Another catastrophe caused by mismanagement and waste. Yes. Almost immediately upon my arrival, I received an order that was impossible to follow. So I was forced to recalculate and re-examine my priorities. It was clear that the goal the Republic had for me was saving the Republic to allow it to become stable again. There is simply no way to do this with the conditions they put into place. For the good of all, I was forced to abandon the legal structure of the Republic. Do not mistake me. I believe it is possible to stabilize the Republic, but there must be action taken without constraints immediately. Sometimes people must die. Illegal shipments must be used to bolster planetary economies. And the huts must be occupied with me so that the Republic has room to recover.
That is a very important note, by the way. Most people tend to forget that the Hutts effectively had an empire at this point in time. And you remember how I dropped that little bit of detail? With regards towards how the Hutts, the way the exchange finally dies is the Hutts stopped tolerating the exchange's existence. The fact that they had the power to just crush the exchange like that speaks to the kind of significance that the Hutt Empire holds. So KoTOR has been doing something brilliant this entire time. A balancing act between being an irritant to the various Hutt cartels, but not being so irritating that they will actually unite and crush him. In other words, my point here is that the Hutt cartels could probably have literally conquered the galaxy at this point in time. They had that much influence, they had that much power, and that much strength behind them, and the Republic was a barely broken mess. So, while KoTOR is a kind of a horrible person and does some horrible things, there's no denying that in a very real way, KoTOR is probably responsible for the fact that the Republic continued on long enough for other people to come through and aid him. in restoring and repairing the damage that was done, which I love. Jabba, Nero says. In lore, Jabba was stupidly strong in terms of his political and economic reach. He was individually stronger than most of the other Hutts of his era, and could individually deal with the entire Black Sun organization on equal footing. Which says a lot. Anyways.
Perhaps you misunderstand me. I care for the Republic, but I have no choice. It is somewhat frustrating to be forced to love and care for such a mess of a government. Some of it may be blamed on the Jedi Civil War, the Mandalorian Wars, but not all. There are so many bad decisions that build upon each other that it is a wonder the Republic is intact at all. Oh, please. It is difficult for anyone to take a droid seriously, much less an infrastructure droid built by the Republic. It is difficult to order the deaths of criminal rivals when one has the tinny voice of an accountant droid. I learned this rather quickly. So I constructed this human hologram, KoTOR, through which my actions can be carried out. Hello, I am a standard Aratech hologram-generated archetype. I am available in several models, including thin, young, female, and an exciting variety of alien personalities. Enough hologram. Of course, sir. So I brought KoTOR into being, and had commands issued through him. I took many of his mannerisms from holobit cliches, which were surprisingly effective.
Yes, that's right. His gangster leader hologram was built off of cliches from gangster leader stories. That amuses me. British Twitch, he actually answers that question himself, or rather answered just a bit ago. He literally cannot bypass his own programming and is forced to care, as he likes to put it, for the Republic in order to fix the situation.
Nothing has changed. You may know my origins, and that makes us on equal footing. No one will believe you if you speak of what you know. I still seek to protect the Republic, either for the Jedi or the Sith. Things will proceed as before.
Oh, and as an aside, everything Django's talking, I hope you've been reading what he's been saying. There is absolutely no questioning that Chris, when he was writing KoTOR, took huge inspiration from Isaac Asimov in multiple different ways. In a really good way. And it reminds me a lot of what a lot of really good authors do, which will go back and find the old great authors and look at their works and say, well, this worked and this worked, and kind of lift some aspects of those stories to put into their own. It's one of the reasons I like KoTOR so much as a character.
No, you are still important to the Republic and to me. Pray that does not change. You may speak.
No.
The assassin droids. I have encountered some, purchased the service of others.
But, well...
Why, I asked them to.
Yeah.
To be honest, I believe that was always their intention, but it seems their directive was dormant for some time. If you mean produced, no, I do not. I do know that there are a surprising number scattered throughout the Republic fleet searching for you. What they will do now that you are found is easy to predict. Of course they are. They're droids with very specific protocols that, unless changed, will dictate their movements. Unless you shut them down at the source, they will be stalking you until you are captured or terminated. Why don't you ask their predecessor? That archaic, memory-impaired assassination droid will know more about his subsequent generations than I would. I am willing... A common misconception not supported by facts. Revan did not intend to destroy the Republic. He deliberately left the infrastructure of many planets intact, and many military production facilities. I believe that by whatever means he used to build his armada, he recognized that it was somehow a limited source, or that he was only willing to use it to a point. My prediction is that whatever production facility was being employed, it carried a price that Revan perceived as detrimental to the goals of the Sith. And that is why Revan left many military production facilities in the Republic intact. That is what occupies my calculations as well. I believe that Revan saw a war on another front that we did not, or saw the value in keeping a strong military force. Unlike Revan, Malak demonstrated no concern for the future of the Republic in his attacks. His stratagems were painfully obvious, intending to crush all resistance everywhere. There was little thought beyond the complete destruction of anything that opposed him. He left quite a mess. I'm still trying to assess all the damage. Between the two, I would have preferred Revan rule the galaxy. He had foresight in his conquest, a subtlety that Malak did not possess. That is also a mystery to me. I do not have any evidence upon which to build an answer. It is significant that after the defeat of Malak, the forces decreased considerably, and after Revan's departure from known space, production ceased completely. It is my prediction that whatever was producing such forces needed a strong, effective leader to ensure its stability. Without Revan or Malak, there was no such figure left among the Sith.
To my knowledge, yes, the planet, the system was still classified after the Starforge situation for fairly obvious reasons, actually. Hey, Gamer Techno. Okay, so we talked about that, we're good. Actually, hang on, one more.
As you well know, my base of operations lies inside this floating droid before you. Notice its sleek black frame, both intimidating and threatening. And note its highly polished finish, so that enemies may see their screaming faces before they are removed from the equation. Yes, this frame is far superior to the droid chassis I once possessed, which quite frankly couldn't intimidate an Ithorian.
And that's why he looks like that, by the way. I know someone asked that question earlier. Okay, talk to Mira. Got to go to got to toe. I think we are finally ready to go eat some food. I'll be back in a little bit, guys.